What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about NIO. I want to go over some of the current data points, latest and updates, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So NIO is down 2.76% pre-market, largely because of this. So in case you don't know, Israel did attack Iran. And so that's causing a lot of speculation on how that's going to play out. But Iran has already mentioned that they are going to retaliate. They raised their red flag of revenge. I did not realize that's a thing, but essentially it looks like it is going to be a little bit more of a back and forth. And from what I can see from Trump's comments, it looks like the states might get dragged into it. So again, I think this is where people are assuming the worst. Specific to China, though, we did have new loans a little bit lower than the forecast. So I think this is not a reason to freak out, but this is a little bit something to keep in mind. So again, this could be attributing to NIO going down as well during the pre-market. Aside from that, no official news from NIO, no specific SEC filings or anything like that. Unofficially, though, there's a couple of things I do want to bring up. One is this right here. So NIO did sign new distributor deals. So they're going to be entering 3 new European markets. And then you did have this right here. So NIO did confirm that they're going to be launching 9 new models in 2025, 2 of which that they've already brought up. But both of those things, so about the expansion and the new models, I feel like some people are divided on social media, and I get both viewpoints. So both essentially are good for the company. Expansion, new models means more revenue. So that is essentially good for NIO. But flip side, on the negative side, essentially both of those is going to result in higher costs. So roughly 4 months ago, we had NIO absolutely putting out so much news saying that, hey, we're stopping expansion, we're going to be cutting costs, we're going to be laying people off. Essentially, both of these things counter that mentality. So don't anticipate. So like I said, this is good, but don't anticipate NIO to be hitting their marks on their earnings per share, for instance, going forward. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Again, like I said, from what I can see on social media, people are somewhat divided on this. So what's your general thoughts on that? Aside from that, 13.39% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 206 million shares. I don't really anticipate shorts to be that active today, only because they normally like to suppress stocks below strike prices. But based on this, the open interest, you do have 4,000 at that 350 and then 26,000 at that 4. So shorts aren't going to die at 350 by trying to suppress NIO. So in my opinion, I do feel that if NIO was closer to 4, then yeah, shorts would be easily doubling down like 5-6 million. But at the 350, they're probably just going to let that 4,000 kind of be in the money. So that's something to keep in mind. So that 350 is going to be a good kind of support level based on the options. So again, something to keep in mind. As of late, though, you have seen a little bit of a increase in transactions on the dark pool. So that's kind of a good thing at the end of the day. It shows that institutions are paying attention to NIO. But we've overall seen a little bit lower volume. And just, I think overall, NIO has been really lagging. So over the last 1 month, comparing NIO to Li and Xpeng, it's down 13.81%, whereas Li is in the green, Xpeng is down 8.95%. Over the last 6 months, basically, NIO's only red. Year to date, basically the same thing. So NIO is just very, very suppressed. And I get it. Some people are going to put in the comments saying, well, it's because of the management and it's because of them, how much they burn through. I do agree that has some attributing factor, but it's not that. Like NIO is actually performing. If they were really flopping on their operations, then I would completely agree. But on a multiple standpoint, for instance, looking and comparing the PS ratio and all of these, NIO is just like insanely at a discount. So again, that's just my viewpoint. Some people might disagree and whatever else. But aside from that, though, with it at 353 now pre-market, trading between this pivot and this S1. So 341 is going to be a strong support. 363 is going to be the next strong target / resistance point. And it did close right below that yesterday. So just again, watch for that 363. And then aside from that, that 350, which is going to be linked to that options. And then quickly going over here, so ultimately it did kind of test and hit that 50-day moving average again. So that's sitting at 377, but as per usual with NIO, it does break above the key moving averages momentarily, and then this is where you see it just get dragged down. Although in the past it's been shorts been the fact why it's been going down. So usually whenever it spikes, shorts increase like 6-7 million those days, but lately, you can see from this green line, shorts ever since the peak of June the 3rd, so ultimately roughly around their earnings, they have been returning. So all of that suppression that happened was not attributed to shorts. It's actually just institutions or algorithmic trading really pushing NIO down, because I think over the last week, algorithmic trading and NIO, it's been really picking up the volume. So something again to keep in mind. So let me know your thoughts on NIO. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with NIO? And my apologies on the lack of NIO videos. I've been really rather sick. So hopefully it should be back to the regular scheduled broadcasting momentarily. So let me know your thoughts. Hopefully everyone has a good weekend and a good Friday the 13th. Don't forget to pop over to my Patreon and give buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.